The Virtual Boys have been playing Nintendo since they were little. These many years of experience have made them experts in the field, or at least they think so. Join them this week as they talk about the Switch's year in review. You're listening to the Virtual Boys Podcast, a Nintendo podcast about Nintendo things by Nintensity. This podcast is done by four friends that talk about anything and everything Nintendo. Check out the website at nintensity.com and be sure to follow us on social media. Be sure to subscribe and share the show with your friends. Oh, of course, enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual Boys Podcast, a Nintendo podcast about Nintendo things. This is episode 89 of the podcast, and I'm your host, David. A year of switching and playing together with Skylar.
What a year it has been.
And James.
Let's switch to the podcast.
Oh, and we're in, everybody. It's the podcast. So, happy birthday, Switch. Happy birthday from all of us.
Happy birthday.
The Switch is officially 1 year old on March 3rd. March 3rd is the anniversary of the latest gaming console from Nintendo. And this week we want to celebrate today by looking back on the year. We'll talk about some of our favorite moments, our disappointments, and what we hope to see from the Switch moving forward. But first, before we move on to that discussion, I just want to remind you to check out our Patreon page. These episodes are going up early as a reward for those that support us. You can check out all those rewards and pledge at patreon.com/Nintensity. And if you want to talk about this episode with us, come join our Discord community at ninten.city/Discord. Well, that's enough of that stuff. Let's switch right into the Switch anniversary.
It's okay, I forgive you for that.
Yeah,
got a barrel roller on it right on over.
Barrel roll right on over, jump in, all that awesome action wordy stuff that you can use for that. So I guess the first thing that we'll talk about is looking back on our initial impressions of the console itself. What did we think of the Switch when we first saw it? Anybody who wants to give us our first thoughts?
Well, yeah, I'll go ahead and go first. I guess my first thoughts, I had to go back to the leaks and rumors, which I thought for the most part were fake in some aspects. I didn't, because some of them were actually fairly close to being correct. I guess not everyone had 100% grasp of what the Switch was, but I was like, there's no way that they would, compete with themselves in handheld or whatever I thought back then. I was very much the skeptic, as I usually am. But then when they had the the reveal in October or whatever it was, that kind of showed how appealing the portability of the Switch was, and so I was excited to see that and to see Zelda on it. At least that's what I thought when I first saw it.
I mean, I remember some of those old rumors, and we talked about them in quite a bit at length with, like, that controller that was, that weird elliptoid shape, kind of an oval egg that had the screen on it with the buttons, and it's like...
Yeah, totally fake.
Yeah, I don't see why Nintendo would ever do something like that. It was kind of a cool idea, I guess, in retrospect, but at the same time, it's like, this will never work, and people will think it's the weirdest thing that we've ever seen. But, I remember when the trailer dropped, I think the three of us watched it together at least a couple of times, right?
Because if I remember right, I was in the newsroom when the trailer dropped.
When it dropped.
Yeah, I was watching in the newsroom.
Yeah, so, I think afterwards we watched it together, and I just remember how excited we were. I know that we watched the big presentation that they had in January together, and that was awesome.
Good
I still
times.
remember Skylar covering his ears and eyes when the Breath of the Wild stuff came up because you didn't want to see any of it.
Yep.
Good times.
I was not disappointed. It's a really good game. That was the announce of Odyssey in January as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. But yeah, that whole like initial release, the Switch just had such a rocket start, compared to the Wii U. I mean, the Wii U had a bunch of like random third-party titles that were just ports or whatever, but the Switch was getting a lot of new games. A new 3D Mario, new Zelda experience. It was just amazing.
Yeah, you had a new IP with ARMS. You had the sequel to their new IP that came out on the Wii U with Splatoon 2. The Mario Kart launch. I mean, last year was incredible for the Switch, and a lot of that was revealed during the big presentation that we had.
Well, not only that, but like during the little reveal that they had in October of 2016, they showed a bit of Mario and they showed a bit of Splatoon, if I remember right. Splatoon 2.
And I remember when they showed Mario Kart 8 in there, and we're all like, double items! Whoa, Double Dash is back!
Double Dash is back, and
almost.
What's going on here?
There's still not two people on a cart, but I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there.
We're getting close.
One step at a time.
Definitely put a lot of hype into the January showcase.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you weren't convinced to get a Switch beforehand, if you're a Nintendo fan, that would definitely do it.
Yeah.
Before everybody's like, well, I could just get Zelda on my Wii U, but now you have all these other games too, and it's like you just got to future-proof, I mean, you just got to buy the Switch.
Right. Why spend $60 on the Wii U version when you could have the next console? I mean, of course, if you didn't want anything else, then yeah, I guess the $60 on the Wii U is justifiable, and quite a few people went that route. But
if we're just real quick, since we're touching on that, if that argument, I think it kind of becomes null and void with the Switch, because the Switch is about portability as well.
Right.
It's like, oh, I only want Zelda, but with Switch you can play Zelda on the go, like, and it's still like a slight upgrade. Not even a slight upgrade. It's not really an upgrade, but you can play it on your TV and have it on go. So I think like even then, it's kind of like you may just want to stick with the Switch. But anyway.
Well, I mean, that just what constitutes the console itself, really.
Yeah.
Just having the game portable in general is just such a great Switch feature. Mm-hmm. Having it playable on the TV and on the go.
Mm-hmm. I know. You could play it on a train. I wish I knew more of the green eggs and ham rhyme by heart, because, a lot of that stuff can be applied to the Switch. You can, eat it on a train. You can eat it in the tunnel. You could eat it on a hill or whatever is in the rain. You probably don't want to play it in the rain, but you can.
Eat sandwiches and 1-2 switch in the rain.
Or whatever you do, open and close your mouth really fast.
8-14 sandwich. It was great.
You ate 14 sandwich?
And I'm still hungry.
Yeah, I wonder where it all went.
Straight to your thighs.
Oh, crap.
And then you explode. Just kidding. We don't have to talk about SpongeBob.
That was like the one game I didn't particularly fall in love with at launch was 1-2 Switch. 1-2 Switch was just not it's just not a $50 experience.
Yeah. Even, a year later, last week or 2 weeks ago, Nintendo released another trailer for 1-2 Switch, and all of the comments on the YouTube video were like, seriously, why isn't this like $10 now? This is just a tech demo to show off what the game is like. And yeah, I haven't played it because I don't want to pay for it. You got it for a screaming deal, didn't you, Skylar?
Yeah, I got it for like $5 last Christmas. So I wouldn't suggest paying more than that for it. It's not worth it.
But beyond that launch title, we did have Breath of the Wild and some of that other stuff. So
they're like Breath of the Wild, Bomberman, and a 1-2 Switch day one, and then we had snipper clips like when the eShop launched. So,
did we have a Puyo Puyo Tetris as well? Was that day one? Or was that later?
I think that was a little bit later, not much though. Okay. It was within. But launch even then, window.
Like none of those games were, big launch titles except for Zelda.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed Bomberman. I'm still playing Bomberman, and they keep updating Bomberman, which is awesome.
Which is like Konami updating their games. What?
Yeah, and then they just dropped Metal Gear this past week. So
let's not talk about that.
Way to go, Konami. Anyway, you were going the right way, but not so much anymore. But yeah, just
you know what else was a launch title? Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. They didn't quite have Spectre Knight ready, but the other two campaigns were ready launch day.
Yes.
Interesting.
This is true.
I didn't buy them right then. I remember waiting until Spectre Knight came out, but
yeah,
still, that's the second game I bought on my Switch. But going back a little bit in time, when did you guys get your Switch, or how did you get your Switch? I think we all had different methods for getting the Switch. I'll start. I got mine pre-ordered through Target, but through my grandma, because she wanted to help out with it and all that stuff, and I was a poor college kid, and so she offered to give me that in exchange for a birthday present, basically. So
Aww.
I didn't really have a birthday. A few months later, it was the Switch, and she kind of put a card and was like, "You remember what you got," along with the other few toys I got. But
pretty killer birthday gift, though.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And so because of that, Target shipped them on launch day, and so I didn't get mine until the Monday after they launched. So, but I did get mine really close to launch day. I mean, I think I was just a couple of days off is all. But man, I have loved and adored my Switch ever since. Breath of the Wild was absolutely the first thing that I popped in, and I've played it for over 200 hours, along with Splatoon for many more, and yeah, that's how I got my Switch. How about you guys?
Day one, Amazon. Did have to buy it myself, but it was totally worth it. Got the Zelda, got the Bombermans, and got Snipper Clips. And when I wasn't playing Zelda, it was definitely taking a downtime with the other two games. Really good time. That whole month was just a Zelda blur.
A Zelda blur. It's I honestly wish that I could forget that month so I could play it again fresh. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a game I would love to play fresh.
Never get all the Korok seeds again.
Yeah. I guess I never have to do that again, so that's one bonus.
That's a nightmare. Korok seeds were so bad. Anyway.
I guess I was similar to Skylar in that I got it from Amazon. I remember when the pre-orders went up, I don't know if they had the color ones or not, but I went for the gray ones just automatically. And those are the ones, and those actually were up for a bit after, so I guess in hindsight, I should have gone for the colors. And even now, I look at my Switch and it's yeah, the colors are just so much better than just having dull gray ones. I mean, if you like gray ones, it's fine, but
I still do play with my gray ones quite a bit.
Actually, I say that, and the gray ones are sitting on my Switch docked right now. So there you go. But
well,
at the same time,
I one-upped you
like
a little bit because mine are dull blue because I custom painted mine over the summer. But anyway.
Yeah, I replaced mine with the Splatoon ones. But I still play with the gray ones because I don't take my Switch off the dock very often.
That's funny because it's just the nature of my life is that I'm mostly playing the Switch on the go. Because of the what's the word, the transit or whatever, the commute I have to do to work and everything. It gives me a good chance to play on the go.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, so that's how I got my Switch, and obviously I just was playing Breath of the Wild for a month or so. It was great.
So many good memories. But beyond just that first week, what were your favorite Switch moments so far? This entire year that's happened. I guess mine personally, and I mean this one is really hard to beat for me, is that moment when in Breath of the Wild when you get out of the Shrine of Resurrection and suddenly Link starts running on his own and the music starts to swell. Then you get that huge sweep across the plateau and what you can see beyond it. Just the way that music swelled and the fact that it was just this huge new adventure on my brand new Nintendo Switch. It was I don't think anything will ever be able to quite top that moment for me. It was just so epic, so grandiose. It was just amazing, just opening up the Switch, launching the game, and getting to that point. And then, of course, Breath of the Wild is just fabulous the rest of the way through. Other moments beyond that, I guess, would be... actually, when the title screen for Super Mario Odyssey appears in game after you defeat the first Brutal and capture the light post or whatever, the electricity rod, and you shoot off into the distance, and the music comes in a little bit, but there's that like huge bass drop for some reason. I don't know. I love that moment too. I guess it's just like at the beginning of my adventures is when I feel like the most impressed, I guess. The ending to Odyssey and Breath of the Wild were fabulous, but I just always remember that first moment where like this huge drop comes in with the music, or you're about to set off on the actual adventure. I don't know. That those are the big moments for me.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I have to say that moment in Breath of the Wild is just phenomenal, hands down. Just, running out and seeing all of Hyrule, that kind of vista view, it's pretty amazing. I have to say another one of my favorite Switch moments, is also pulling from Super Mario Odyssey, but it has to be when, like, there's a few moments. Like one of those moments is when you first hear the music for Steam Gardens.
Yeah. After you step outside that little cave and get into the main area,
a little bit of the field or whatever.
Super cool.
Oh gosh, that just kind of really got me like pumped, and the music was just really grooving. Then another one was with how far are we going into spoilers here? If you haven't played Super Mario Odyssey, cover your ears
or skip forward like a minute or something.
So I'm gonna mention the Bowser Kingdom, which is very like Japanese themed and everything, and seeing that and then getting to the second part of that where the almost the up tempo version of the Japanese music is so amazing.
Getting to the top.
Ooh. Yes.
Like the drums that are just playing in the background too.
I think about that from time to time and the feelings I had with that music, and it just like, oh my goodness, it just overwhelms me.
Soundtrack is so good.
Yeah, the soundtrack. A lot of these good moments just are because of the soundtrack, and they were awesome in and of themselves too.
Yeah, my favorite part of the Odyssey, though, and again, this is continuing spoilers, is right before you go to the Bowser Kingdom with that freaking dragon. Just blindsided me. It's like, boom, Mario, this is a realistic dragon, and I just flipped out. It was so good.
It was pretty crazy. I cannot lie.
Like,
I was not expecting anything like that.
Bowser's up there, he's like, so Mario, how are you going to deal with this? He's like, I'm going to jump on his head 3 times. It's like,
and he's dead.
And he's dead.
Okay.
Wow. Mario's got some strong, hops there. Anyway, it was
or a big butt.
Big ground pound stomp that he can get so much momentum of like 2 feet. Anyway, pretty great. Anything else, James?
So it also have to be Xenoblade Chronicles, and just the moment of again, music cues with the Mora Dane.
Yep.
And having like the why can't I Gormont, just being in Gormont in itself is really fascinating. But also the music in I'm forgetting some of these names. The snow area. Do you remember that one?
Oh my gosh, I'm there. Tantal.
Yeah, Tantal. I think that may be my favorite track. It's a toss up between Moradine and that one, but anyway, those music tracks, and then having just the whole experience together was just so amazing, and finally getting Xenoblade Chronicles in my hand was such a wonderful experience. So anyway, those are my
getting the
favorite
special
moments.
edition was a pretty fabulous moment.
Yeah.
Just having that huge box.
Yeah, it truly is.
Yeah, I second all of that music stuff with Xenoblade. That game made me cry. Anyway.
Wow.
How about you, Skylar? What are your moments?
My favorite moment was just getting a slam of plethora of games last year. It was just game after game after game after game
that
after
is true.
game. It's like out of Switch moments, that's my favorite. I've never owned that many like games first year for a console ever.
I don't think I've owned that many games in 1 year period. Like, I mean, buying them in that 1 year.
Yeah.
I'll have to say part of it has to do with the fact that, for me, it has to do with the fact that I have income now.
Yeah.
Before I was a kid and I wasn't like, I had to like, Mom, Dad, can I have money to buy this game? No. Okay.
Okay,
So I'm not
thanks.
playing it.
It's like, but I mean, you think about a lot of other games' launch years or whatever. Nothing has just been like hit after hit after hit after hit.
You're right.
Quite the way the
yeah.
Switch's launch was. And it's
Very
like
true.
you get boom Zelda, boom Mario, boom freaking like everything. It was great. And we technically got Bayonetta in the first launch year too.
Yeah, technically.
we did.
Kind of crazy.
And Celeste, and I mean, all of these good games that have come out this first month. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's just been nuts. And like freaking, I said at the beginning, it's like, Crypto the Necrodancer, if it comes to Switch, I'll pick it up. And lo and behold, it came out. And I was like, well, I guess I gotta pick it up now. And
Guess I gotta play.
there's just so many games I've really enjoyed this past year that I mean, the Wii U didn't quite do that. And then even I love the GameCube and all, but I don't think that many games came out the first year for GameCube for first parties. But I mean, this past year, it's just been crazy. It's been really good. So yeah.
Do you mind if I piggyback off that just real quick?
Yeah.
Really short. Like I said, going off that, it's just playing indie games. I'm not much of an indie player. I don't really play on Steam or anything like that, so I didn't have a chance to really play a lot of these indie games. And I'm starting to play more now. It's not nearly to the amount of Skylar or Jordan or other people are playing, obviously, but it's still more for me. And I think it's just amazing to see the Switch have so many titles. Just not just
Right, and with that whole thing, it's like the only like indie games that I actually really played on the Wii U during that era was like Guacamelee, which I still love, and please come to the Switch. Please, I will buy it again. The original SteamWorld Dig I played for a few hours, but like there wasn't a whole lot else. I mean, I played other indie games on my computer. I don't remember the ones exactly off of the top of my head, but you're right. The indie scene has been so huge on the Switch that it's like really opened up that whole like plethora of wonderfulness that you can just go out and buy. I still need to get Celeste and a couple of the other indies that have come out recently, but man, I had so much fun with SteamWorld Dig 2. Like that game was so fun for me. It was a kind of like Dig Dug mixed with Metroidvania, and it was just so good. I've talked about it before on this podcast, but yeah.
I remember reading some reviews for that game. Even recently, I was reading on a Nintendo World Report's website, and they're like, SteamWorld Dig 2 might be better than Zelda Breath of the Wild. I was like, no.
No.
That's kind of funny.
I was like, immediately, no. But I thought it was funny. I was like, is SteamWorld Dig 2 apparently that good?
Yeah.
I mean, it is really good,
really
but
like it.
yeah.
I'm going to have to... I've just been waiting for things to come on discount, which things recently have been. A few games here and there have been been on sale on the eShop. I'm particularly looking forward to March next month when Nintendo releases their game deals and sales thing for Switch now, too.
Yeah.
Which would be nice. Because there's a lot of stuff I want to get, but I haven't because it's too expensive. But,
So, moving away from favorite Switch moments, what
did Skylar have any more? Sorry, I didn't know if he had any more.
Oh no, my favorite Switch moments was just getting plethora of games. Game moments are one thing, but Switch moments are another, and that was my favorite Switch moment, was just having continuous support, just crazy good games. I got Doom, and I got Skyrim on the same console. It's freaking great.
I think Switch moments and game moments can be one and the same.
Sure, yeah, definitely. But specifically, I guess, just, having a bunch of games to play was really good for me.
So moving away from favorite moments, then let's talk about some disappointments that we've had with the console. This is a disappointment that I didn't really notice at the beginning of the console's life, but the Switch's UI, for how minimalistic it is and, actually pleasing it is, it's still super underpowered and doesn't have a lot of the features that I'd expect from a modern console. Like, why can't I drag and drop certain games and leave them positioned where I want them? Or why can't I have the small icon list be the default view for all of my games? And why don't we have more information about the time that we spent playing our games? Stuff that even the 3DS and the Wii U and the Wii had, we just don't quite have on the Switch yet. And Nintendo hasn't really given us any hope that it will be coming. That's one of my disappointments, is just like the UI of the Switch itself hasn't really evolved beyond what, we initially saw.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Also, the eShop is a disappointment still, because it's really hard to find anything that you really want. My little brother was searching for a new game to buy, just 2 weeks ago, and I had to give him a list of like the games that I've heard about that I think he'd like. But there was no way to get curated content on the eShop itself. Like, you can't even really look for the top indie games or recommended games based on what you've already bought and played. Stuff like that would be wonderful to add to the eShop, and that's just a bit of a disappointment.
The only thing I got from that was a little a notification in my news channel saying games recommended for you. The funny part about the games recommended for you section, though, that I got was I already own most of those games physically. So it's like, guys, I already own these, and I know you have access to my information. I signed these up to the Nintendo account, to my Nintendo, so I can get the gold coins. You already know I have these. Why are you sending me basically double dip new recommendations? But,
right.
Whatever. Something new would be nice. But, that's just kind of how it works.
So those are my disappointments that I can think of. What about you guys?
My biggest disappointment with the Switch is just simply like storage. The Switch doesn't have a lot of space on it, and I had to go get a really expensive SD card to fit all my stuff. I like seeing all my games on the list, and also just going back to David's point, I like having folders with different games to put in, kind of like what I have on my 3DS. I have a lot of games on the 3DS, and I have them all categorized and separated and stuff. I'm looking forward to them adding themes to the Switch as well, because what we have right now is black and white. They're gonna do themes, I'm pretty sure. And then I'm also looking forward to the eShop deals, which is something I've been severely missing and been disappointed with not having for a whole year, even though it's been like coming soon for like a straight year. So I'm looking forward to those.
The My Nintendo rewards?
Yeah, for the Switch.
That'd be nice.
I have so many unspent coins.
You have more than I do, and I feel like I have a lot. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I got like 300 something gold and like...
Yeah, you got way more than I do.
Some stupid amount of silver that I've never used.
It's like, give me something to use them on,
For real. It'd be so nice.
For me, the most disappointing thing would have to be Virtual Console. The fact that we don't have that. And I understand that that's not necessary to have at launch or I don't know. I understand that maybe that's a little too high of expectations, but I feel like that's just something that should be on the Switch, and they haven't even really said that they're going to have a Virtual Console. They've mentioned, we'll talk about our Legacy Collection after the online. It's like, I don't care about the online, really. The fact that I have to pay for it now, okay, well, it better be good. I'm glad you're only doing $20 a year, but still, it better be good. But what I really care about is the Virtual Console, and eventually getting GameCube games on the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Having these games on the go, like the Switch is meant to be, it's just a no-brainer to have a Virtual Console, and it'd be silly for them not to do so. So I guess that's my biggest disappointment. Not only them not having it, but refraining from even talking about their plans for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if it would be one thing if they straight up said Virtual Console is not coming to the Switch instead of just like,
yeah,
you know.
Right. Well, if they had said not coming to the Switch, then my actual disappointment would be it's not coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
but I see your point. Like that, I wouldn't be having this like not anxiety is the wrong word, but just this like when is it gonna come kind of feeling. You know. Yeah. I
absolutely
totally agree with you on that.
Absolutely.
One other moment is this one's short. It's just Fire Emblem Warriors. I really love that game, but disappointing wise, the cast of the roster that they have for Fire Emblem Warriors is terrible. I'm just gonna say it. It's just
it is.
It's sad. Fire Emblem Warriors, and maybe I shouldn't go into this because I'm gonna do a video on this, but whatever. Sneak peek. The Muso series is, I believe, should be like any crossover they have should be a celebration of that franchise. And with Hyrule Warriors, we had such a great celebration of it with all the characters, but then with Fire Emblem Warriors, we only get the first game and then Awakening and Fates and then some other characters like 3 or 4 sprinkled in.
Random characters. Yeah.
I understand there's a lot of characters in Fire Emblem, but it's supposed to celebrate the entire franchise, not just the bookends.
The top 3 voted male characters aren't even in the game. Ike, Hector, and Roy. None of them are in the game.
It's like they don't even have Roy in the game, and he's in Smash Bros. 2 Smash Bros. Installments.
Well, Ike's in like
same with Ike. Yeah,
so they're both not in there like they should be. But
it's frankly it's silly, and I understand. I guess them wanting to, control how many characters they got, but you don't need all the siblings in Fates. Just do a poll, or I don't know, like just take what you think. They
have a poll.
Interesting.
And then, don't they have like Alm but not Celica, or is it the other way around?
It's the other way around. They have Celica, but they don't have Alm.
Why?
It's so backwards. Like that's like one of the OT the true
OTP.
shipping. Yeah, OTP true ships, I mean, that's just how it goes. Same with like Hector and Lynn are also, they're together for, they're together.
They're the OTP as well.
They're an OTP as well. That you have to have them together. It's weird not to have one and not the other in the game. It's just kind of weird.
And it's not like they forgot about these characters. They've been using them in Fire Emblem Heroes. On mobile devices.
Yeah, well, of course, they didn't forget about them. They just blatantly like ignored them.
Yeah,
and
they just like, no, we're not going to do it.
I also don't appreciate how they're doing the DLC because the new one that just came out, Navarre, is already in the code.
Right. Well, no, it's the same with like Oboro and Owain. And these people are in the game. Like this isn't like. We made this on the side or after the game was released kind of thing that I'm sure they did with Hyrule Warriors. No. This is, we've already had him, but we're locking it behind DLC. Like, what the heck? Gosh. Frustrating. But I didn't mean to go on a big tangent on that one, but that how they handle the roster is disappointing. But I love the game. The game is great.
I need to finish it. So
just being a lifetime, like for a long time Fire Emblem fan, not seeing all of the characters that I've grown to love in all the games, it's kind of disappointing.
It's a punch of the gut, Yep. I feel for you. Like that's what a Muso game should be. That is what Fire Emblem Warriors should have been.
I mean, Zelda had a great cast. So many characters.
And they added tons more with the DLC.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
They should
Skull Kid,
freaking
look
Skull
forward
Kid.
to my video which talks about this kind of stuff. Anyway,
look forward to that. This is a little
Shameless
preview.
Yeah, as far as gameplay wise, I think I prefer Fire Emblem a little bit more. But as for like how they treated the series, I prefer Zelda more.
Yeah, totally agree.
But yeah,
totally agree.
Well,
conclusion. my conclusion.
I like that conclusion. It's a good conclusion.
Yeah. Well, to wrap up this Switch talk, let's talk about a few things that we look forward to or hope to see in the future for the Switch. I mean, of course, James already mentioned Virtual Console with his disappointing moments.
Oh, yeah.
I look forward to that.
Good point.
And like I said, I look forward to UI updates for the Switch itself to make it more functional and, more customizable with themes like Skylar also mentioned. But what other things are we looking for?
Thinking.
All of our disappointments have led to forward thinking, I guess. We're optimistic for the future.
I got a few more. Looking forward to Smash. Looking forward to Pokemon. So,
Darn chills, Skylar.
you just more games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we got 20 million more units to sell this year. I wonder
Metroid Prime 4.
Yes,
That's one.
which
I'm looking forward to that one.
Which might be being made by Namco. We'll have to see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
There's a lot of good stuff coming to the Switch, and it has a bright future. I mean, they want to sell so many copies. They're not just gonna let it hang too dry.
For me, like, this is like way in the future. I wouldn't mind seeing them just with future consoles, and I don't know. I can't ever predict what Nintendo will do with things, but I would love them to see just to improve on the Switch and have the Switch be their main model. And unless it ever gets old, if it gets stale, fine, I guess change it up. But I don't see this getting stale, really. You just got to improve upon it. Make a new, like, better specs, better portability. Maybe they'll have VR. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's a little far fetched. But anyway, what I'm saying is, like, just more Switch iterations in the far future.
Yeah.
That's what I hope to see.
So, like, new consoles build on this idea instead of just being something new. And
completely new.
And being, like, backwards compatible with all of these Switch games. I mean,
yes,
if I can keep this
somehow.
library, like, the rest of my life going forward on every Switch, every Nintendo console, it's like, all right, you've got me sold, Nintendo, you own me.
Right. Like, totally. And kind of like how the Wii U was supposed to be some sort of improvement of the Wii. Mm-hmm. Do that, except don't fail.
Better.
Okay?
Yeah.
Can you do that, Nintendo?
Do that, but not exactly that.
Do that, but don't mark it as a peripheral.
Really, though.
Don't make it look like a peripheral. Instead of marketing just the tablet, be like, look at our brand new freaking console.
Yeah. I guess at the same time there with the Wii U, it did maybe branch out a little too far what the Wii was, and people weren't quite ready. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, like, I just think they have a really good thing here, and it would be a shame if, like, 5 years later they're just kind of like, okay, forget that. You know what's in pen gaming? I don't know. Like, I don't know what that would even be. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, are there any other thoughts for the Switchiversary before we move on?
Happy birthday?
Should we sing happy birthday? Just no. People don't want to listen to that. It'd be out of sync. But
yeah, good point.
Yeah, happy birthday, Switch. We're grateful that you came into our lives. I know that you're not sentient, but we are very grateful, and we look forward to your future.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Hey everybody, it's your friend David. I'm just hopping in the middle of the episode to give you a few reminders and talk about a few things. First and foremost, I want to apologize for any weird cheering or crowd noise that you may hear in the background. Skylar's apartment has a volleyball court just outside his bedroom, and when it's not freezing cold, people apparently like to hang out and scream and yell and play and all that stuff. I've tried to cut out as much of it as I can, but sometimes they just scream when he's talking. I guess they're just really enthusiastic about Nintendo stuff. Beyond that, just want to say thank you so much for listening to the podcast. It really means a lot that we have a good listenership. We've been doing this for a long time, as evidenced by this being episode number 89 of our podcast, which is ridiculous when I sit down and actually think about how many episodes I've actually edited over these last 2.5, almost 3 years. Beyond that, we're getting ready to launch Season 4. Wow, that's coming up quick this summer. So look forward to some changes to the podcast when that happens. We'll keep you up to date, and it won't be too different, just some fun stuff. If you want to get these episodes early and check out some of our other Patreon rewards, like getting access to our YouTube videos early, head over to patreon.com/Nintensity and check out those rewards. It's an easy way to support us. You can donate just once a month, or you can donate once and then never again and cancel your subscription. And you don't have to pledge to a certain amount every year or anything like that. It's just pretty straightforward, but you all know about Patreon by this point. Beyond that, just check out our website at Nintensity.com. We've got lots of fun stuff going on up there with some review articles, some opinions, and some news and stuff. I know I've been really busy, so the site hasn't been super active as of late, but we've got some new writers on the team that are looking forward to writing quite a bit more for the website, so look forward to that. That's pretty much all that I've got. Again, please be sure to share this episode with your friends. It's the easiest way to help support the show. The more people that learn about us, the bigger and faster we'll grow. So that's all I've got, and I'll let you get back to the episode. We're going to talk about what we've been playing this week. Thanks so much. Let's move on to what we've been playing this week. I've been playing more Bayonetta. I got like 3 more chapters in before I ran out of time and had to work on other stuff. I had a midterm today, a midterm yesterday, a project due on Friday, a project due today, a big presentation last Thursday. It's been a rough month for David, and it's not going to get any easier. But at least in my off time, I can sit down and play Bayonetta or Splatoon 2 or Fire Emblem Warriors, and that's wonderful. Splatoon 2, I finally hit S+ rank and everything but Clan Blitz, which is awesome. It's really fun playing with actual capable people now all the time instead of just, B rank people that are like, I love playing this game. And there's nothing wrong with not being good at the game. It's just, it's fun to play with high skill level people that are at the level that I'm at or even greater, and then I can get my butt kicked or learn something new. But I do love Splatoon 2. I still play Splattershot Pro. I've been messing around between the two variants. They're both still very, very good. The Forge is probably one of the most powerful weapons in the entire game right now, with the bubbler and the suction bombs and the range and the kill potential. It's great. Love playing the Splattershot Pro Forge. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been up to with the limited amount of time that I have to play video games.
So I 100%ed Mario Odyssey again. It's like
hey, wait.
It's my third time.
Did you 100% it? You know that you can get more than 999 moons, right? You can buy a total of 99 moons from every single shop.
Yep.
Did you know that?
But it doesn't,
did you do that?
But they can't count.
It doesn't count.
They don't count. Anyway, 999. Got all the stuff. Played a lot of Luigi's Balloon World. Been having a lot of fun with that.
You like it?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's fun. There was an article published today. What was his name again? Real quick.
I think James Fairbanks.
Yeah,
if I said his last name right.
He was talking about how Luigi, because they made it Luigi, it is sad. It would have been nice to play as Luigi. It would have been really cool. So started up Zelda Breath of the Wild again.
Wow.
Having fun with it. Except the stupid B button and the X button jump thing is still like cramping my fingers mad hard. But whatever. If I could just remap the buttons, oh man, this game would be glorious. We have Bayonetta that I've been playing this past week. I'm up to like chapter 5 now. I just finished the first boss. I'm not too far.
That's about where I am.
I've already beaten it like twice on the Wii U, so I'm not in any hurry to beat through this game again. Been playing Crypt of the Necrodancer. Hopefully the review goes up soon for that one.
Yep, should be up by the time the episode's out.
Yeah, which I love that game. if you like roguelikes and you like rhythm games, it's fantastic. It's a really good game. I can't put it down. Been playing some Aperion Cyberstorm, which is a shoot 'em up, which hopefully the review for that one goes out soon. We got the review code from A Priori Digital.
Yes.
So thanks to them for sending the code. I'll have the review soon, I hope. We'll just see how the next week goes. And then I've been playing Brawl Out, which is like a not so great Smash clone. It's just kind of okay. I picked it up because it was a Smash clone, and I'm really itching for a Smash on Switch. Which, you know, it's okay. It's just okay. And then I reviewed Joe Dever's Lone Wolf, which was given to us by Forge Reply. It's a novel, essentially. A choose-your-own-adventure novel with some RPG elements thrown in. It's a phone game. Feels like a phone game. A lot of swiping gestures. A lot of tapping the button super fast. Kind of like mashing your screen. That kind of stuff. But I like the story a lot, which is basically what the game is for. It's a book. And the novel was interesting. It was fun.
So is it like virtual novel kind of a thing? Like, but
yeah.
But they said there's more of an RPG aspect to it.
Yeah, so like it has, in a sense, you have a character sheet like D&D where you can track. You have your stats, you have your items, your inventory, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you go through this novel, this choose your own adventure, and you choose things like based on an outcome. Like one would be like, do you choose to kill the Glock who's in front of you right now, who's drunk, or do you choose to question him first? Like that kind of stuff. And you get different plot results depending on what you choose, different text, that kind of thing. And it can often lead to different choices, even sometimes way down the road in the book, which I thought was interesting. There was one choice I made like in like way early on in the chapter, and then by the end of the chapter, it's like, because you chose this, essentially, now you have to fight a bunch of these guys. And it's like, oh crap.
What have I done?
So, some of the fights are they're kind of tough, but I didn't have too much difficulty with the game. I ended up beating it pretty quick. I played on normal difficulty, so the medium tier, there's easy, normal, hard, so pick your poison, essentially. But if you like story games, if you like interactive novels, it's a good one. Especially if you like fantasy, it's a good read.
Sounds really interesting. It really does. It's something that we don't really have a whole lot of on the Switch, right? Those types of games.
Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of interactive novels on the Switch.
It's a shame that it's a lot like a mobile type game, though. I mean, I guess it's not a shame. It's just interesting because, I mean, the Switch is a mobile tablet in a sense, and so it makes sense. But with those types of gestures, were you able to play in docked mode?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So do you just like use the control stick instead?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just use the control stick to make the motions. It wasn't too difficult.
All right.
I believe it was on PlayStation 4 before, and maybe Xbox One before it came to Switch.
That could be. It was also. It's just straight up an iPhone game, or like a like you can get it on your phone. Basically, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smartphone
that
game.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I like the story a lot, which is what you play it for. The gameplay is kind of just like a side feature, but the art transitions were awesome. I just have to say, whoever did those did a fantastic job. I love watching those go in and out. They just like fade from the pages of a book into like some really nice 3D rendered art. Gorgeous.
I think it was either in your review or you tell me that some of those transitions or art things was kind of like Bayonetta.
Yeah, when I first saw the book, I was like, man, this looks a lot like the book itself looked a lot like Bayonetta before you open it. Just kind of like some of the art and some of the lettering, that kind of stuff. I was like, that's really interesting. Like, it was really high quality.
Well, speaking of Bayonetta, I got to play Bayonetta 2. I was trying to make a transition there. I don't know if it worked very well, but anyway. So I played Bayonetta 2, or I am still playing it. I think I'm on chapter 9 or 10 or something like that. And holy cow, Bayonetta 2 is like on another tier of awesome. Like, it is so much better than Bayonetta. I can't believe it, because Bayonetta is a great game. I loved it. But then you play Bayonetta 2, it's like, forget Bayonetta. Bayonetta?
That's why you gotta play the first one, then play the second one.
Yeah, otherwise you can't go back to the first one. Like, it's just not possible.
Yeah, it's like trying to play Pikmin 1 after playing Pikmin 2.
That's a good comparison.
That's really good. Because I don't play Pikmin 1 anymore.
Yeah, Pikmin 2 is just so much better. And Bayonetta 2 is also better. It's awesome.
It really is. In every way. Like, it has the advantage of being a newer game, sure. But it's not just that. It's the controls are just a lot more fluid, and it's not like frustratingly difficult, the normal mode, Yeah. Like, I'm playing through normal mode right now, and I feel like I have an understanding of the controls, or I feel like I know what I'm doing. That I don't need to I don't need to switch, and that's great, because it was just so frustrating in Bayonetta. But anyway,
Bayonetta 1's a lot more punishing.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, it's definitely like hard to get into unless you go into easy mode. But Bayonetta 2 is not like that at all, and I really like it, and it's just gorgeous. Like, it's just another testament of how amazing the Switch is. I can play this amazing looking game on the go. Pinch me, I'm dreaming. But it's fantastic, and I really enjoy it. At the same time, they kind of upped the scale on the what's the word? The
risqueness.
Yeah.
Fan service.
Fan service, I could say, but it's definitely risque. It's like, okay, story time. So I was on the subway when I started Bayonetta 2.
Oh, so that's I know exactly where. Never mind. Keep
Bayonetta
going.
2 is like the best Christmas game, by the way. It's a Christmas tradition. You should play it. It's up there with Die Hard or whatever that action Christmas movie is.
Just so you know, you can't have Christmas without caviar. I'm just saying that.
No, you can't. Don't forget the caviar.
Don't forget it.
But no, so I was playing it, and I ended up having to stand up, and we were like scrunched together with everybody on the train, and there's this lady who I swear she was looking over my shoulder. I was like, that's fine, it's Bayonetta. Like, she'll see I'm playing just playing a game. That's no big deal. And then there's a moment when the angels attack, and then Bayonetta does a move, and basically it got awkward real quick, and I just like turned it off. I was like, okay,
not in public.
Please don't tell me she's looking.
Can't do this right now.
I did not even check if she was like looking at me with like the most disappointing look ever. I just couldn't. She may have been burning a hole in the side of my head, but I just couldn't. But anyway, like that was just a funny moment I had with it. But anyway, such a good game. Then I continue my Let's Play with Radiant Dawn. Again, still really enjoying it. It's interesting with this one how it feels a lot different than other Fire Emblem games in the sense of how the story goes. It's separated in parts, and I thought it came to my head, and I obviously I can't confirm this until I finished most of it, but it feels like it kind of like Fates almost was going after the whole or going after what Radiant Dawn did with the parts, but then like, we can make each of these parts its own game, and so they did that. I mean, I don't. That's probably not exactly what they did, but it almost feels like that. Like, what if they had released Radiant Dawn and each part is a game? Like, that would have gone fairly tedious, and they would have
short games.
Well, they would have to make them longer, is what I'm saying, and that's what and that's what I'm saying is like Fates could have been one game, but then they just took the parts and made them longer. But that's just a weird theory I had in my head. Not saying like that's the case or anything. Just a thought that came to me. But however, like, these parts flow very well, and they add upon each other, and I'm really, really enjoying it.
Cool.
Then I played more Tales of Berseria. Not much else to say about that, but
All right.
I mean, it's I'm still enjoying it, but I haven't had a whole lot of time to play it. Is all I'm trying to say.
Cool. Well, I guess that'll do it for us this week. Thanks for all of your thoughts, my fellow virtual boys. I don't know. Maybe I should start saying that. I don't know.
Boys.
We'll keep workshopping it.
Into hood. the Nintendo hood.
The Nintendo.
Well, before we end the episode, just want to say thanks again for joining us. You wonderful listener out there. Your support means a ton.
Totally. I'd like to give a shout out to Skylar, our co-host. He composes our intro and outro music, and he has a great SoundCloud lineup. You should check it out at soundcloud.com/SkyTower with a 5.
And I'd also like to shout out to our patrons, Chris, Chase, and Ratmvp. Thank you so much for your continual support. If you want to join them in supporting the show, head to patreon.com/Nintensity to view all of our different rewards. Remember, these episodes of the podcast go up early as one of those rewards.
I'd also like to invite you to join our Discord community. We're trying to set up a fun place for people to visit and hang out. Head to nintendo.city/Discord to join us today.
And thank you again for tuning into the Virtual Boys podcast this week.
Wait, David.
What?
Don't forget to check out our YouTube page. We have some great content on there. We just released an ARMS video as well as our first Nintensity Cinema from James Fairbanks about a Kirby movie. If you like what you see, give us a little subscribe. Okay, sorry, that was all.
Gotta catch that there Kirby.
Gotta get that there Kirby. That's what we do best, enemy.
Well, thanks again for tuning in. A what?
Sorry, I was actually quoting his video. But anyway, sorry.
Oh, darn.
Get it with a money back guarantee.
Thanks, Meta Knight.
T. Hanks, Met.
Well, don't forget to subscribe and rate this show on iTunes. We'd appreciate all of that stuff. It really goes a long way in helping support the show. And be sure to check out our website at nintensity.com, where you can find news, show notes, reviews that Skylar wrote, opinion pieces that we've got, and all that other stuff.
Hey, I wrote a review too.
And James, yeah.
James wrote a review on The Farming Simulator. It's really funny. Yeah,
it is really funny.
I enjoyed reading it. It's pretty good.
Well, Skylar's reviews are always enjoyable too. I like it.
Yeah. Well, this week's show notes are also available at nintendo.city/EP89. Man, we are cruising. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye, you good people.